right, let's do the video sound check. How's everybody doing tonight? Woo! Tuesday night, Wednesday's price action. Here we go. I love the chat. Love the chat. Yeah, before we get started, Juliana, you do not, yeah. Let me go through this one thing first, Juliana. Maybe that will give you a better understanding. Welcome. I am happy that this is your first time. And if this is your first time, it's only for education. This is just for education. I don't, like, no sense. I tell traders all the time, it's not a signals class. You don't take my trades exactly the way I do it, right? There's a top step risk disclosure. It's for education, understanding a process, understanding, your own process, not my process. And I'll talk a little bit more about process later on in the class, because today was a good one, not only in the markets, but on maybe a learning lesson for social media, right? It's just a good example. It's never going to be a dig or an attack on any individual, but I think it just continues to prove to me over and over again on the lessons that not only just any traders, everybody, me, any trader that has been around for a long time, regardless of who they are, they go through the same thing, understanding those same concepts, and yeah. Let's get to it. Let's talk about the NASDAQ. This freaking NASDAQ. This NASDAQ on the daily, man. What a market. What a market. Look at this. Look at this. This is something I wish I was on TopstepTV tomorrow morning, but I will be in the afternoon. Look at this chart. Now, I don't know if you guys want to consider something like this. I didn't really think that we would be testing it so soon, so fast. I remember back when was this? Back at the beginning of January, mid-January. Hoag and I, shout out to Hoag if he's ever listening or tuning in. But we watched this market bounce right off this trend line. Now that's not an exact, right? It's not exact, so it's just a zone, right? Just like support and resistance are zone, I do believe that trend lines are zones as well. You could essentially draw just some type of a zone here. You could make this trend line as big or whatever. I still believe that trend lines are zones, just like support and resistance are zones. And yeah, nothing is exact in this market. We sold off. We hit 21,000 evens. We actually just went just below it, and we rallied. Now, we've been looking for this area, this zone, right, for quite a while since we sold off here. This is just what Kramer would say, frothy. This is a frothy market. I don't know whatever that means. But yeah, I mean, this can get more ugly. Can this get even uglier? Can we break through this 800s? Can we sell off and break through? I don't know, but it's been straight down. How many red days in a row? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 red days in a row, if you consider these 3 days red. I mean, you could consider them just opening and closing, but they're red. The color that I'm looking on this chart is red. And we do have NVIDIA earnings tomorrow. So yeah, maybe tomorrow is going to be a green day. If you are playing those odds of how many red days in a row before we're a green day, I mean, maybe we could see a green day tomorrow. I know I was a buyer today and ended up doing relatively well, going against counter trend and buying. I think I even got 0.27s at one point. And I think, I know I said last night I was looking for this market to return over these 550s. Well, I'm considering that a loss unless something dramatic happens tomorrow, unless we have some huge rally tomorrow. That is a loss on some options I have expiring for tomorrow. But I'm still looking for areas to buy this market. I am entertaining longs down here. Obviously, you've seen that today on fast markets. Looking for longs. Maybe we have some type of reversal pattern, some type of reversal pattern that I would be looking for is an example of something like that, right? Some consolidation reversal, something that we've been seeing near these highs, right? 3-bar reversals near the highs, near the lows. These are beautiful, technical patterns looking. Now, it's hard to catch something like this, right? Because it happens so fast. But if we get kind of a slower reversal, maybe some type of consolidation, some type of technical pattern that will allow us to change this storyline over the past week. And what better place to do it than at a level of support and a level of zone of support and zone of a trend line. It's going to be interesting. It's kind of like be patient. Let's see what happens. Remember, I am a perma bull. I love buying this market. I do believe the market is like Jurassic Park, and the dinosaurs. For some reason, they just always find a way. Like no matter what, against all odds, they'll find a way to buy this market up. That's kind of the reality that we live in this type of a market. Talking about NASDAQ only. Now, it doesn't mean we can't just continue. They died though. You know what? Some people consider the alligators or dinosaurs. It always finds a way. Buyers always find a way. Is that a crappy analogy or not? Remember, I don't think of these analogies beforehand. Sometimes I say sometimes I say things without thinking them through all the way. They went extinct. Well, they'll find a way. They'll find a way. I got one of them gators in my pot. Okay, getting distracted. Let's zoom into the hourly chart. Let's zoom into an hourly chart. And not much, right? Just sell. We had a very nice bounce today, right? Nice rally. These rallies are getting better, right? Inversion, I don't know. I'm not an inversion trader, but if we want to look at comparison, I mean, buyers did start to step in. I don't see this as a reversal pattern yet. I'm not looking at a reversal pattern. I would much rather some type of a move like this. We do have NVIDIA. Maybe it takes NVIDIA earnings to move this market or change this direction. But it's hard to see a setup. It really is hard to see a setup tonight. So I think I might just decide to just pass all at once here in the NASDAQ. Now, we did open up tonight here in a gap. We closed at 190s. We opened up here at 5 p.m. Central, up here at 230s. And we have a gap. So we have a little bit of a gap. What, 12 points? 12 points? It's not. It's nothing, right? What are you going to do off of 12 points here in the NASDAQ for a gap? And we did test these highs, and we are rejecting. I don't want to be the one to say it, but I was going to say this is a tough market to buy. And I think you've seen me today. I had a tough time buying in the New York session. I tried buying here. I tried buying here. I tried buying here. And then here. And then here. So I was a buyer today. The nice thing, the crazy thing is, every one of my entries, I was at least up, I think, 20 points. I might have to go review fast markets today on TopstepTV because I think every one of my entries, I was at least 20 points in the money. But maybe I had greedy eyes and I was looking for a bigger bounce on these first two entries. I got it down here. That was a nice move. And then, didn't get anything on this trade, and that final trade to end the day was a lot better. And I hope I demonstrated kind of the idea of sizing down if you're trading against the trend, and sizing up when you feel a lot more confident in the trade. Now, that's kind of hard to explain sometimes, that you want to size down when you place a trade, when you're going against the trend, when you don't maybe feel 100% confident, and then you size to your normal position size when you do feel confident in the trade. And so I was getting into full size. I was getting into full size down here in this zone. Everything down, it was just one contract. Now, I've had traders make this argument, and this is a valid argument because it's something that I've thought through myself, is, well, why would you even place these trades if you don't have the confidence to go into the full size? And the answer is, it's still a setup to me. And if I'm going to risk, I think $300 at max, $200, $50, I wasn't risking a lot of money. Plus, I was already in a really good position from last night. Remember, everybody, last night I was short the Nikkei, and it played out really well. Made money on the Nikkei, so I had a buffer to be a little bit more, I guess, lenient with my entries on smaller size. So I didn't mind risking, $300, and then I was like up 20 points, and then immediately, you've seen how fast I was moving my stop loss. I was moving my stop loss really fast, and scratch, right? Scratch trade, $50, minus $50. Same thing, minus $50, minus $50. And so there's a lot of little paper cuts on the way down with one contract. But once we started to get into the zone, into a good zone, and started to see good 3-bar reversals, started to see better market structure, and started to see this market consolidate and find support, that's where I started getting in with 5 contracts, looking for those bigger plays. And, I did take a bigger loss. My biggest loss of the day was right here. This was my bigger loss right there. We could, should we review my class? Let's review it. If we could get up to 700 likes, we'll review it. Now that I'll have time. Now that I'm not into a trade. So, yeah, let's do it. I think my win rate today was like 10%. And if we get up to 700 likes, I'll review my trades. We'll review my New York session. I think that would be fun. And while I do that, oh, you'd be surprised. Why? Well, you don't believe I'll get to 700 likes? Nah, think again. Think again. I believe in everybody here. Let's take a look at crude oil. Crude oil. What a sell-off on crude. Wow. Okay, I didn't really see that one. That was a selling opportunity, right? That was a selling opportunity last night. That's kind of what we were. Wow. Sometimes the markets. Sometimes I feel like I'm just trading the wrong market. Kind of was looking for that, like looking for a short. That's kind of been the story of crude oil, right? Just have a nice little rally, sell. Have a nice little rally, sell. And this is the same story. We did break through these 70s. These $70 a barrel is a key level. Now remember, I've been saying this for about a month. My targets are going to be around these $65 a barrel. These 65 is what I am looking for. Now, what a move down in crude oil. What do we do next? What can we do here in crude? Well, this was a major support and resistance zone. So if we see a bounce, I think that could be a decent opportunity to take a short, right? Well, I mean, they have been good opportunities to short this market. I wouldn't be surprised if this market rallies, if we can get a nice opportunity at some type of resistance or see what we have been seeing for the past few months here in crude, some type of pullback, then I don't mind getting into a short. Right now, it's hard. It's hard because we've sold off so far, and that's not much of a bounce right now. I would much rather see something like this, a $1, $2 bounce, rather than, what are we at? We're at what, 50 cents? So we still could have more room to the upside before we sell off. This is a no trade zone for me here on crude oil. Let's take a look. Let's move right along. Let's take a look at Nikkei. Ooh, Nikkei. Nikkei is Nikkei's the market of the week for me. I swear. Let's take a look at this 4-hour chart. Now, before I go over my one trade last night, everybody should watch that one trade I had last night. This should be a little bit alarming. This should be a little bit alarming. I mean, this is a 4-hour chart. I've been talking about this for a while as well. We've been in this range since October. We have been in this range since October. We are at the bottom of this range. Now, the question is, do we break down? Can we break through this range? We could, I don't want to, this can start to get scary here in the Nikkei. All that tariff talk, Nikkei, Japanese market, I mean, it's looking scary here in the Nikkei. If we start selling through these levels of support, that we've been in since October, then, I mean, what is it? Look out below, right? I mean, can we see some support hold up from back in April? Talking last year, back in April, or are we going to, can we come down and clear down back in September, that high volatility? And then when we look and we take a look at the NASDAQ, now I'm not saying they're correlated, but I mean, if we're looking at something, we're in this consolidation, we come back and test this, and if NASDAQ sells off, we could see a further sell-off. Now, it's always scary to think about that. I think tomorrow is going to be a very important day after the bell for tech, for the NASDAQ. These markets going to keep selling off. It's soon as the market opens in the New York session, it's just been sell, sell, sell. And taking a look at the Nikkei, it's even, I would dare say, a lot more harder to buy the Nikkei than it would be the NASDAQ. I don't want to be a buyer. I definitely do not want to buy in the Nikkei, at least from what I'm seeing. Now, last night's trade, man, if you tuned into slow markets last night, the short from right here, we shorted this one. I shorted that one, and that was a banger, right? That was a banger. Looking for that short, looking for very similar to what I was referring to on the crude oil, if we want to compare the Nikkei to crude oil, where we are looking for opportunities to sell these rallies. I mean, there it was, right? There's these opportunities to sell the rallies, and very similar to crude oil. We're down here at these lows. I would much rather wait to see if we get some type of a pullback to short, or see if we just can break down. I'm not seeing anything else. Do I know what caused the Tesla sell-off? I don't. I don't pay attention to individual stocks to that extent. Let's take a look at gold. How's gold doing? Oh my gosh. What the heck happened in gold? Talk about volatility. We came back down to the bottom of that range, huh? We came back down there. Is this a short opportunity in gold? Can we short this? Coach J? Hoop? I would be okay with the short. Yeah, I'm okay with the short. This is a slow markets class. I'm going to get into a short here in gold. If
Order
it will
filled.
get me in. And that's not gold. That's
order filled.
Oh my gosh. That was the NASDAQ. I need to make sure my charts are synced. That trade, I need to pay attention. There's another good example of checklists, making sure you are trading the market you're looking at. So now I am. We are good. Now let's short this gold. We'll short this gold.
Order
Okay.
filled.
In short gold, let's go ahead and review this. Let's make sure everything looks good. I want to take a look. Let's take a look at this. How big of a position do we want? Risking about 900 to make about the same. Let me zoom in. Let's zoom in and see if this is a setup. man, gold is so volatile. Look at that move this morning. Wow. Wow, that is insane. That is insane, this level, this move. I mean, if we take a look at it, that's 2%. That's a big move here in gold. That is a really big move here in gold. 2%. 2% there. I don't like this risk reward. The risk reward's okay. We might even see further continuation. It's not too bad. I was thinking of it instead of one mini. I think a better trade would be maybe 5 micros. And I was going to switch to micros, but this thing's working out already. This thing is starting to sell off. Now, where would a target be? Where would a target be? Because I wanted to put 2 targets on here. Is this a decent level? These 25s? You could see where it held, maybe some support and resistance there. If we zoom in and we're looking at the 5-minute chart now, you could see some resistance there, some resistance here. And the whole setup is on the hourly chart. So if we look at the hourly chart, you could see how we rallied up to these 40s, rejected, and this is a pretty bearish candlestick. And the thing is, that bearish candlestick is right here at this level. This used to be support. This used to be major support for the past week or two. And what I'm seeing is this support is now becoming resistance. So I want to see if this, support can hold as resistance. And if it does, we can see continuations back down. And so I think I'm happy with this trade, to be honest. I might even consider lowering this take profit. Now that I'm watching, there's some support. You can see that there is some decent support and resistance here throughout the past few weeks. And yeah, this is where having multiple take profits could be okay. Could be okay. Let's see. I like this trade setup. And yeah, I think this is going to be the slow markets trade for tonight. Slow markets trade for the night. It's higher risk than I wanted in terms of the dollar amount. I would rather this be 5 micros, half this. The risk reward is better right there at the 22s. I think I'm just going to keep it up here. I think just a nice 1-to-1 risk reward is perfectly fine for gold. Risking 840 to make 840. Look at the statistics that we have been in. 536, 367. Decent risk reward because that it's skewed because of this stupid trade I was in and out on. Let's switch this to micros. I'm going to practice. I'm going to switch this to micros. I'm going to close out of this.
Order
I'm going
filled.
to switch it to micros. And I'm going to get in 5 micros.
Order filled.
And I'm going to make sure that this is a better trade. Have to practice discipline. And so we were right down there. And then we'll zoom into a 5-minute chart. And let's make sure everything's set up. Now we have that luxury of scaling out. Now we could scale out if we needed. And so I would be okay. I would be okay with doing even something down here. Make sure that stop loss looks good. And so maybe a 2-to-1, possibly a 2-to-1. And then we could use something like a buy limit if we could get down to these first areas. Now, it's not about the dollars right now. Remember, we're not focused on the money, not focused on the dollars. It's like, man, you could have made so much money on if you would have stuck with a mini, right? No, that's not the idea. The idea is not about an individual trade. It's about following a process over and over again. Of course, I would love to just be like, you know what? That was a great setup. Jump into 5 minis, right? That's not the idea. The idea is following a process over and over and over again, regardless of thoughts and opinions. So not thinking about the dollar amounts, right? Because obviously the dollars can be bigger if the size is bigger. Winners are bigger, losers are bigger. When you when you increase the size. It's about the process. And so I think for this one, having one at right about a 1-to-1 risk reward, that's a decent stop loss. If we do rally up and break through those, wouldn't make sense to me to stay into a long. Is this just going to go straight down? Is this just going to just go straight down? I mean, I like that we are breaking down. This is supposed to be an overnight trade that lasts all night. So that's it. I think I'm going to even edit this one. Let's make sure that all the settings are correct. Go through the regular checklist. Settings are good. Checklist is good. Buy limit, we're going to put 2 right there. Not 2. Do we put 2? And leave 3 on as a runner? Yeah. Yeah, there we go. There is the slow markets trade. Fast, slowish markets. Slowish markets. Yeah, let's see how this one plays out for tonight. This is a trade where I'll turn my computer off, let it run, and oh my. You know what? Let's just see it. Let's just watch this thing, huh? Let's see. I might just close out of a couple manually and leave some runners on. All right, we'll sit back and watch this. We'll watch this market. I don't mind it. Well, you don't expect this to happen. Wow. Volatile. So volatile. What does that look like on the hourly chart? That's just so... It's a beautiful setup. It's looking better. We got that 3-bar reversal. Getting follow through. Now, did not expect this one. Sometimes it just works out, huh? Let's just see this market sell off. Why put you buy at bottom of support? Well, to me, that's where, if this was support, and if it wants to be a support again, then yeah, that's where it would be. The next area of support is going to be all the way down here. And, you know, maybe you can have targets down here. I would be okay. I mean, that's the way I look at it, right? If there's another reason, if there's another way that you could figure out a process on your own to take profits anywhere else, you know, maybe you have take profits at this resistance, right? This is resistance. Maybe you take profits there. Maybe you could take profit here. I mean, you can make an argument to take profit at any of these levels, right? Maybe you there's so many different trading styles, so many different strategies out there. That's basically why I made some comments on the Twitterverse because of that. I really did. I was like, hey, who are you? Who am I, right? Even looking at it from myself. Who am I to criticize another trader's strategy? I don't know. I don't know how this trader does. I could understand criticizing maybe risk management if somebody's asking for help, if somebody's asking questions. There's a reason why I answer a lot of questions with the word "it depends," right? It really depends. There's so many different ways to trade and so many different trading styles. It is so unprofessional to answer in any other way than it depends, and it depends on your own process. And so sometimes I get a little bit fired up when I see that, and I just had it was just a beautiful example of and hopefully a good educational moment for traders looking and seeing that, hey, this isn't just some random person on Discord. This isn't just some random person in the YouTube chat. Everyone goes through it. Everyone goes through it. Nobody's the best trader. Nobody's so good that only their strategy works. Again, it's the same thing with indicators. There's no magic indicator. There's a list of thousands and thousands of indicators. This is not all of them. There's probably thousands of other indicators more than what you see here. and none of them work 100% of the time. I guarantee it. Everyone, if you have, say, for example, a VWAP, and if everybody trades the VWAP, every single person here in this YouTube chat will have a different outcome, different statistics at the end of the year, at the end of the month, trading the same indicator. Like, that's the reality of trading. Nobody knows everything. No indicator works 100% of the time. And I could even make an argument that 99% of the indicators that you see are lagging, right? These indicators are lagging. What that means is they are based off of data, right? So a VWAP, that's based off of data. A moving average, it's based off of data. And that's what lagging typically means. There's a difference between a leading indicator and a lagging indicator. I don't want to go too far in depth, but yeah, there's a lot to it. And I get fired up sometimes whenever I see incorrect guidance, because I always view, we have new traders. So like at the very beginning of class, I always love to see that new traders coming in. Shout out if you are new to class and if you are new to futures. And I could only imagine you have somebody, Coach Jay, you have somebody who's never traded before starting to get into these future markets, or maybe they're getting into these markets in general, and misguiding is such a sad thing, because I've seen traders come in and maybe they come in the wrong or right way, or whatever you view is the wrong or right way, and they end up just having a very bad experience, and they never trade futures again. And sometimes it's unfortunate to see. What's wrong with the VWAP, Coach Jay? It's just another indicator, man. It is. It's just another indicator. Andrew A., there's nothing on the chart that isn't lagging. Bad traders have no future in futures. Hey, you know what? I will make this statement. I don't mind making this statement. I'm going to make this statement a few times. I'm going to make it tonight in slow markets, and I'm going to make this statement tomorrow, and I'll probably make this statement for the next few months. The more time I spend on social media, the more I start to realize why over 95% of traders fail. Today was a good realization for me. Like, you know what? That clicked. Okay. I am no longer surprised why 95% of traders fail. Maybe it's skewed a little bit. I don't know. But the more time I spend on social media, the more I realize why that statistic is the way it is. Now, that's in general, right? That's in general. Everyone will have their argument of 95 or 99 or 98. And it's in general. It might not be specific to groups. You know, that's one thing I love about Topstep. And like the mission, I guess, is that the VIP teams, I'm visually seeing higher success rates on like these smaller groups. I'm seeing higher success rates. And this is a comparison against the general public, right? The general public for sure. It's always an interesting thing to see. And I love statistics. I absolutely love statistics. Whenever JD or the team brings up statistics, brings up VIP team statistics, I love that stuff. And the fact that MP and the team are focused on it is great. Life could be a dream. I'm not picking fights. I'm giving examples. Or is that the same thing? Is that the same thing? I think picking a fight would be caring what someone else says. That's what I think. I think picking a fight would be caring. As far as I'm concerned, I could be talking to like an AI or some random person. I give just as much respect to anybody. Some random person on Discord, I give them the same respect as I would give when I'm on Topstep TV with MP. Oh, I love the chat. Love you guys. Good statistic for you. On average, about 10 people are bitten by sharks worldwide each year, while New Yorkers bite around 1,600 people annually. Oh, man. Come on, we haven't got to 700 likes, so I can review my New York trades, my New York session trades. Oh, man. Where's the gold at? I don't know. Hopefully they find the gold, and then this market could sell off because an influx in supply. We're at 400. We're at 400. We could prove Golovkin, is it you said we couldn't get to 700? We could do it if everyone does it. I believe we'll get to 700, so I could review my New York trades. They were it was a wild one. I was an active trader today. I was really active. I think I took more trades today during the New York session than I've taken. This is one of my most active New York sessions of the year, I think, in terms of yeah, it was pretty active. 6 MGs, call him out by name. Call who out by name? If I cared enough about him, I would. I only call people out by name I respect. Everything's possible, only risk management like a hawk and with an edge. Yeah. I see you're taking the #1 spot back. You're trading aggressively than usual. I'm not trading more aggressive than usual. I'm trading. I don't think I would consider it more aggressive than usual. Oh man. What are your thoughts with rips? I told you I don't have any opinions on that. I have no issue with him. I don't know any of the details, and I've never had an issue. It's mutual respect from me. Phase Pablo, you can't keep doing this. Still waiting for 700 likes, and then I'll review the New York session. Until then, we could watch this trade play out. I'm not seeing much in any of these other markets. I was watching the Nikkei, seeing if the Nikkei would break down. Why did this switch on me? Nikkei looks so bearish. The Japanese market, we failed to break higher, and this thing just it looks like we could just break through. I don't want to be in any position there. So you could watch this. The Nikkei, Nikkei. I probably, tell you, butchering this pronunciation, pronouncing it incorrectly. There is the good quote. Trading becomes less stressful when you follow your rules. Yeah, you don't have to think about it. You don't have to stress. You don't have to stress if you trade the correct size. You size down. You don't have to think or stress about the money. You follow the process. Simple. Follow the process. Yeah, Kentucky Blue, that's from my point of view. Let's see if I'm okay with closing 1 or 2 if we could break down and then leaving the rest on as runners. How did the trade last night go? It went great, man. Said once I get to 700 likes here tonight, we will review some trades. Until then, we're watching this gold selling off. It's 27, almost to the low of the session. Session lows are at 27.6. 27.6. Let's break it. When in doubt, zoom out. The Nikkei Have I been pronouncing it wrong this entire time? I think I went through this whole thing figuring out how to pronounce that. The NKD. We're trading NKD. I was calling it Nike. Never doing that again. I was down 2,000 with no risk management, and now I'm up $84. Holy smokes. Don't trade too big, man. Don't trade too big. It's scary. It's scary. Do you know how many times I've seen that? I've thought it myself. Is like, if I could just get back to break even, I'm never going to do it again. And then for some reason, I find myself in the situation of doing it again. I see it. I think I've seen it in my VIP team a couple times where I'm like, size down, size down, size down for whatever reason, break your rules, and then you don't want to be in that situation again. And then for whatever reason, they broke the rules again. I see it all too often. Happens to me. I've broken my rules. Sometimes, and I wish I didn't. And then tell me if you've heard this one. I'm sure everybody here in the YouTube chat has been in the same situation where the trade's going against them, and they just like almost just praying, like, if this goes back, if I could get back to break even, I'll never do it again. I'll never do it again. And then the trade works out, and then you get in that same situation. You're like, oh, you know what? That worked last time. Why not? Right? It happens. I don't know if this is someone else's quote. This is probably a quote from somewhere, but yeah, I don't know if this is a quote. Let me know in the chat. You guys always know if this is a quote or where it comes from, but hope can keep traders in a bad trade. So hope keeps traders in a bad trade. Fear keeps traders out of a good trade, or gets traders out of a good trade. I'm sure there's a quote out there. Probably sounds a lot better, but that is probably everywhere. I've heard it many times. I don't know who it comes from or where it comes from, but it's true. It's true. I see it all the time. It's me too sometimes, where when you get scared while you're in a trade, fear gets you out of a good trade, and hope keeps you in good trades. You hope the market's going to turn around. You hope the market's going to go your way, but you can't rely on fear and hope. You rely on a process, and always have a stop loss. What I hate seeing is when somebody says, this is just a small size, so I don't have a stop loss. I've seen it. I see it all the time. I seen it today. Hey, I'm going to place this trade, but it's small, so I'm not going to have a stop loss. Do that. Yeah, do that. See what happens if you do that enough. I've been there. Trust me. You be in a trade. You seen what happened last night? I was long NASDAQ. I was long the NASDAQ last night. And even though it was just one contract, and I could say, yeah, that was just one small. What happened? Some famous tweet came out about tariffs, right? Tariffs, market sells off 200 points. And then what, right? Well, I didn't think I needed a stop loss because it's small. Well, you can make or lose a lot of money on micros. Yeah, last night was funny. It was not funny to me. Yeah, I remember last night. Last night was not funny. Where was it? It was this one, right? It was right here. I was long. Playing for a breakout, and then whoosh. Just out of nowhere. That's the markets we are in. You can't be surprised out of anything. Liquidity grab in Bitcoin. Sounds like Gandhi. It was like, what did I just do? Yeah, $800 gone. No, Ellie, it's not entertainment value. I'm not going to lose money for entertainment unless it's like $10 to test something. It's my money. I'm not going to purposely lose money. anything like that's just insane. I've had traders ask me, do you hedge? Do you go long in your Topstep account and then short in your personal account? What the hell kind of question is that? Am I going to bet against my own money? I mean, that's like, I don't understand that thinking. It's like I make $2 in my personal account, but then I make $2 in this account. And there's no benefit. It's my money is my money. Like, this is my live account. This is my money. I could withdraw it at any time right now because I have over 30 winning days. I think I'm at 120 days in this live account. And honestly, right now I could go in, request, withdraw the full balance minus the 10%, and it goes in my pocket. And no way would I want to be stupid about my money on this, even though it's all about relative, right? Yeah, I don't mind making or losing 5,000. You guys seen it today during fast markets. If we ever got to 700 likes, I'll review it. Trump is the tariff sheriff. Oh man, how many stop losses did how many stop losses do you think Trump hunted? How many stop losses do we think Trump's tariffs talk has ran? I'm sure they've wrecked accounts. They've ran my stop losses a couple times. Thousands. All of them. Thousands. Well, this is turning into a true slow markets trade. Let's see. Anything else going on in these other markets? NASDAQ. Okay. That was probably a trade I missed. We filled this gap, and now we are starting to rally. So this could definitely be a potential long. It's definitely a potential long. You know what? This is not okay. We filled the gap. We immediately rallied, and I missed it. That would have been a great entry for the break of that pivot. Now the question is, I'd like to see this thing consolidate. It's tempting to buy it right here. It's very tempting to buy it right here, but I want to see us consolidate and then break out. So I like either some type of consolidation, maybe a pullback before we break out, but I think this thing could just break out right now. Because we filled that gap. That was a good one. That was a good trade. There it goes. There it goes. Well, I tell you what, some of these best trades are the ones I freaking miss. Oh, we'll get to 700 likes. If you guys want me to review those New York session trades, we'll get to 700 likes. Grab that killer short entry and don't let go until close. What are you referring to? Short what? If you're shorting the NASDAQ, it's always scary to short. I'd rather lose buying the NASDAQ than anything else. Well, I guess entering here was not too late. If it keeps going up, entering here was not too late. If it keeps going up, who knows? Entering here might not be too late. Ooh. Oh, do we have any news tonight? I guess we could have just double checked this. China? External challenge commonly across this. Let's take a look. Is that moving the Nikkei? Did someone say the Nikkei is moving? Not we're on the 5-minute. Not really moving on the Nikkei. This gold trade is still just chilling. This, I don't like to see this. Don't like to see consolidation. But it's okay because this is a 5-minute. The setup is on an hourly chart, so I'm okay with this on the hourly chart. Going back to this NASDAQ. Green daily candle, very likely after these sell-offs. What market? Please, when you reference anything, please let me know what market. We review. I watch 4 markets every night. NASDAQ, crude oil, the Nikkei, and gold. And so when you refer to any conversation, make sure you let me know. I mean, I could automatically assume the NASDAQ, but we have tons of gold and crude and other traders here. But I do agree with that statement. If you're looking at the NASDAQ, it's like, oh, man, it's sometimes it could be a scary mindset, right? It is like, man, we have to have a green day, right? I mean, it would make sense to me. It would make sense to me. We have a few things going, right? We have bottom of this consolidation, this major consolidation for the past 2 months, and we have NVIDIA earnings tomorrow. I was kind of looking at that. I was looking at that up here, right? I mean, this was a little bit of a surprise. I mean, sure, we're down at 21,000. I was looking for more of a consolidation and a rally because of NVIDIA earnings. Tomorrow we have already quite the extended sell-off. But, yeah, this is kind of turning into be one of these sell-offs, right? It's still, funny thing is, it's still within the expected move. Now, this is why it's not, wow, this is why it's not 100%, right? This is not, I don't know which ones I'm doing and which ones I'm not doing, but I don't mind just doing all these ones again. It's still, this is why it's not 100%. This is why it's not rocket science. Did I miss any of them? Maybe this one. And so it's still not too crazy. It's still not too crazy. If we measure moves like this and we measure these previous moves, it's not dramatic and crazy yet, right? This move that we seen back near Christmas, we sold off more and we sold off faster, right? That was in 2 days, 2, 3, 4 days. And look at all these sell-offs. And yeah, it's easy with hindsight, right? Where, I was looking at the average being a little less. Maybe I even added some of these shorter ones. But yeah, from the extreme side, yeah, you know what? If we do rally from there, that's just going to be another one saying, yeah, expected move. But an expected move could very well be a zone, right? We're in just one giant range. Now hear me out. If NVIDIA earnings is good, what if NVIDIA earnings are just so amazing tomorrow night? Thursday we get like a candle like this, right? What if we just get one of these candles? A move like that? What if Thursday we're looking at a market to finish the week like this? What if we're looking at all-time highs by Friday? Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. What if that's the next 3 days? Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And we finish Friday near 22,200. How would that happen? Not going to happen? Why? Why would that not happen? People are thinking the same thing here, maybe. I don't know. Heck, you say it's not going to happen. Well, how did everybody think when we were down here? No one thought that, wow, we're down at 18,000. Whoa, what happened there? I mean, what? A 2,000-point rally in a week? A couple weeks? Like that? Anything can happen in the market. How likely is it? Nah. It's very unlikely. It's very, very unlikely, but who knows? Who knows? Let's see. How's this gold thing working out? Still not doing anything. Just let this one cook overnight. Let this trade cook and work out overnight. This is about a 2-to-1 risk reward. About a 2-to-1 risk reward. Old school, I do not see us. We already made our 18-month 10% pullback. I don't see us breaking this box. I think we're in a range. I sure will be happy if the NASDAQ breaks in this range. I mean, I don't know. Speaking about markets, you know what? I've been tempting to buy. I'm tempted to buy this. I don't know. We're at this level. Where's all the crypto gurus, crypto bros? Where's that one dude that's been buying billions of this at highs? Where's his liquidation point here in Bitcoin? I'm curious on that question. Didn't he buy like, I don't know the details. Wasn't he like buying billions up here at like 107,000 or 100,000? Slayer, is that his name? Or Slayer? I mean, is this just another rant? Is this normal? Right? Is this a normal pullback? Well, you know, if we're doing percentages, I might be liking it, right? 25% pullback, 28% pullback, 17% pullback. So it looks like, you know, 25 to 28% pullback seems decent. So if we're looking at that and we're saying, you know, 22%, that's normal. So this is where I'm starting to get a little interested in Bitcoin, to be honest. So I am interested in getting in a more of a longer term position in Bitcoin down in this zone. I mean, I have been saying it since December, right? I've been saying, like, I want to see these 88,000s, maybe even a little bit lower, before I look to buy Bitcoin. I would love for this thing to sell off to these. I'd love to see Bitcoin sell off down here towards these 79, 80,000. But this is looking pretty tempting to me, to be honest, here in this Bitcoin. Now, I don't understand Bitcoin enough. I'm going to repeat that. This is pure technicals. But if somebody's buying billions of dollars of Bitcoin, why is it going down, right? That's the beautiful thing about a market. No one's opinion matters, right? No one's opinion matters. Only yours. Only yours. Coach D, if it spots back 53, 58, I'll start buying it again. When did you become such a little knife catcher? What? That statement doesn't make sense to me. A little knife catcher. You think I catch knives? Do you think I catch knives? No handles? Alexander, I don't catch knives. I buy pullbacks, buy dips. Right? If the dip keeps dipping, you just keep buying. Increase your size and add. We have not got to 700 likes. I would love to review my New York session today with everybody. Yeah. Not little knives. We go through like swords. I'll go for swords. Go for swords. I don't DCA. DCA, not the correct term. Great question. What question? Did I ask a question? Yes. I mean, as soon as we get to 700 likes, I'll review my New York session. I said that since the beginning. Is it too late to place an order in gold? I don't know. What's your process? The real question is, why do we submit 10 longs on a day like today instead of 1 short? Did you submit 10 longs? You got to make, we're at 700 likes, so we're good. See, simple, easy. We're not even halfway through class. Oh, well, we are halfway through class. Took everyone long enough. Come on. I don't mind everybody criticizing my trading. You guys could criticize all you want. I made those posts today on social media for a reason, right? 100% for a reason. What would happen if you were focusing on yours instead of focusing on someone else's? Always ask yourself that question. But it's okay. It's okay to ask questions. Right? It's okay to ask questions. I know traders are wondering, how the heck did you make $7,000 today only buying the NASDAQ? You're gambling. You're just crazy. You don't know what you're doing. You're gambling. Well, why do I do it every single day on TopstepTV, showing you the losses and the winners and the losses and the losses and the winners, and you get to see everything? There's no hiding it on Topstep, right? Maybe it was a fat finger, right? Maybe it was a fat finger. Maybe I just fat fingered it. I'm a like fat finger. Yeah, I'm not going down that road. Oh, so much. Yeah, so I could go so many different ways with that. Yeah, no, am I gaslighting? No, I'm going through and I'm setting this up to review this New York session. All right, let's get through this. So here is what I am looking at. All right, everybody. Let's go through this New York session together, shall we? I'm going to show you everybody I was looking at in the New York session. Remember, the New York session happens fast. It happens really fast. Let's go ahead. Pure transparency. Show charts and executions. Save. Now, it looks freaking ugly. Looks ugly. Oh, you know what? I did have one bad trade. Here's one bad trade real fast. One bad trade I messed up on. Look, that's where it stopped me out. I woke up in the middle of the night. I woke up in the middle of the freaking night at, this is 4 a.m. for me. 4 a.m. I woke up. I looked at the freaking market on my phone. And I watched this. I watched the NASDAQ run liquidity here during the London session. Get a 3-bar reversal. And I entered long at 312. I got long at 312, one contract, 4 a.m. my time, and over 100 points in the market, and I didn't close it out. What was I doing? And then I ended up closing it. I still closed it for profit here, but still, I should have just closed it out before the New York session started. That was stupid. The trade was good. But me not closing it out for 100 points was stupid. Sleep trading? No. This is a valid setup. I'm like, wake up, like, oh, wow, okay, we're sold off. We've sold off quite a bit from, this is kind of where we opened. We're down over, 130 points before the New York session started. Get a nice run of liquidity. Everyone, this is a nice level of support. We ran that, got a nice 3-bar reversal. Boom, entered long. I don't know why the heck I didn't close that one out. That was just dumb. I love the NASDAQ so much. I sleep with it. I told you that's the love-hate relationship I have with the NASDAQ and the Nikkei. But let's start off. See, I hate that. I hate how it just shows this. It's so... That's one negative thing I have about this. Let's review this first. Okay. Hourly chart here in the NASDAQ. Let's zoom out. So we started to sell off, and I'm looking at different levels, okay? Throughout the day, let's put this in perspective. I was like, just send it. Wake up in the middle of the night, the market's down. Send it. So this is where we basically closed and open. Let's just do that. Just somewhere right there, just for reference. So I'm looking at this level. Okay, looking at this level. It's a zone. This is a zone. And then I'm also looking at this. Remember, this is a zone. Looking at these levels and looking at these zones. Looking at these levels and these zones. So this is a main part. Now, these lines, they're zones. So they're not exact. They're not exact, okay? And then this one, of course. Right there. So this is what I'm looking at during the New York session. These are zones, not exact levels. So it's okay to be off just a little bit. Price action means more to me than levels and zones. Price action, to me, is beyond any indicator. Over the VWAP, over any indicator that is in here that I have played with, that I've tested, that I've traded with, that I've seen, price action is so much greater, in my opinion, than any of that. So I don't mind marking this up. And this is the levels I was looking at going into the New York session. Okay, so I'll zoom into the 5-minute chart. Zoom into the 5-minute chart. I also have a 100-tick chart to go with. Okay, and so let's go through these charts and executions, and I'll show you what I'm looking at. Here we go. Let's go through this mess because I got to 700 likes. And everyone who likes it better have subscribed, right? Everybody who liked it subscribed, correct? Because we're gonna get Topstep to 150,000 subscribers, one way or the other. So here's this whole mess of trades. Zooming in. Here we go. Zooming in. Patience. Okay. First trade, 306. Right up here. Not really much to see. This one was pretty straight, simple, right? Level of support, simple. Looking, this was the New York, this is London session low. You guys, everyone sees that. London session low, simple, straightforward. Fair enough. Here we go. Here's the 100-tick chart. Here's what I am. Well, no spoilers, AB. No spoilers. Here's what I'm looking at. I'm looking at these highs. This is a nice support zone. I'm also looking at, we made a low. We're holding this low. Remember, this is hand in hand, so you got to understand that, hand in hand. So 306, 293. 306, 293. That is this zone. See, this zone. Now, I don't know how in line this is because it could look a lot messy. I'm just making sure. So I got in 306, looking for a breakout. We failed. Loss. One loss. Okay. We can keep track of these things too. Let's do it. Let's keep track of this. Who wants to keep track? Let's do it. Keep track. Is there a notepad? Nah. Who wants to keep track with me? We could keep track of every trade here. Yeah. I'll just do a sticky note, I guess. Whatever. Man, you can't really see those sticky notes. It's so small. I don't want to keep track. Will someone keep track for me? Anybody? Let's do a Excel sheet. I'm going to pull up an Excel. I don't mind taking this time. So why did you get in? I got in because we broke through this. That was my trigger. Breakout. At a nice level of support, looking for a breakout. So there's one loss. But you got a drink in one hand. We could turn this into a drinking game. Every time I take a loss, we drink. Half the chat would be drunk today during the New York session. All right. All right. Let's just do this. I don't want to renew that. We'll do this. Blind your eyes, everybody. Ugh. Come on. Oh, come on. Twisted T. Call out your P&L. I don't know. I'm not going to go through the P&L. That would take forever. We only have 20 minutes. You guys could rewatch it. You could rewatch slow. We could watch. Yeah, rewatch it. Why not? Okay. First trade. One loss. We'll do the loss column. Loss. This is how we keep track of it. A loss, a win, and then maybe the size. Size matters. No matter what they tell you. No matter what anybody online tells you. Size does matter. Okay. That was what? 6. How many points is that? Because I look at points as well. That is 6, 10, 12, 13 points. 13 points. So minus 13 points. Okay. Market selling off. Market selling off. Guess what? It gets down to this next level. This next level that I'm looking for this market to find support. Uh-oh. There's Hoag. Hey, real quick, Hoag, take a look at this. I got to show you this, Hoag, for tomorrow. This is for you tomorrow. If you're going to be on fast markets, I need you to see this. Not this short gold. I am short gold, but that's not what I need you to see. I need you to see this, Hoag, since I'm not going to be on with you for fast markets. The NASDAQ 4-hour chart, I know you probably remember this. Disregard those lines. But do you remember back in the beginning of January where we had this support line? Well, we kind of bounced off that. So I wonder if tomorrow during fast markets, if we do sell off, this might play a major role, this support trend line that we had since the beginning of October, where it held October 31st, and then it held both times. If you remember, it held January 13th and it held January 27th. Well, look at what the market did today. Not only did it hold, it had kind of some confluence. A nice round number, 21,000, on top of this nice trend line, on top of being down like at this nice level of support. So I didn't catch this when I was on fast markets today, but tonight when I was reviewing everything, that was something interesting. Dan Trader. Dan in the house. Good. Oh yeah, we need Hoag to join us one day. Dressel Markets. We're going over my losses today. We're going over how many times I could lose and understanding win percentage. So that was my first loss way up here. So loss number 1, we got that in the books. Minus, you guys can see that. Minus 13 points. Market sold off. It kept selling off. Here it goes. Major sell off, right? And then not until we got down to these 30s, right? Remember, this is a zone. This is the 240s. You can see I have marked this out as the 240s, but like I said, above any indicator and above any price level, price action to me is so much better. We got down to this zone. Sure enough, here's what I'm looking at. Now, remember, the sad thing about this is I probably could have closed out a lot of these trades for 20 points worth of profit. Look, similar setup. We broke out. I got in at 31. So I got in right here, 31. Got in right there, 31. Beautiful. Should have freaking look at that. Like, this was a bad part on my end, right? I was in the money by 60 points. Wow. I didn't realize it was that much. I didn't realize I was in the money 60 points. What was I thinking? Who makes money buying this market? 60 points in the money. Man, that was, oh well, whatever. Spilt milk. Life goes on. I didn't realize that. I ended up closing it out for, wow, okay, this was that was actually a winner. So plus 16 points, plus 16. So that was a winner. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and put that in the winner book. Plus, well, we'll just do a positive. Plus 16. These are in points. And then the market just sold off again. And guess what? Waiting. We got down to this next level. We went down. We touched down into these 60s. You heard me say on fast markets, looking for 60s, 70s. Sometimes the market barely gets there. Sometimes the market goes through it a little bit. Remember, price action. We got down to these 70s, and I looked for something very similar. Maybe some type of double bottom. And as soon as we broke that pivot, I got in. Right at 86, right at 86 and a half. So got in right about there. And, sure enough, how many points was I in the money on this one? Let's measure that. 18 points. I closed it out for minus 3 points. I closed it out at 83. So that was basically a scratch. So there's another one, minus 3 points. So minus 3 points. Now this is rough estimates. And then guess what? The same thing set up again. We rejected. And then as soon as we broke through these 93s, as soon as we broke through this little area of, you guys could see what I'm thinking, right? See what I'm thinking? Matching these higher time frame, matching this 5-minute chart. And sure enough, this resistance came down, and you can see now this is on a very micro scale. Okay, micro scale, rejected, came down, and this happens very, very fast during the New York session. Very fast, so fast it really is hard to explain when you're live, and like you said, distracted with TopstepTV and everything's going on and answering questions and paying to. You guys have to understand what comes with being on air. Watching the chat, listening to the team, making sure I answer questions. If Andre asks me a question, if the chat asks me a question, if Hoag, explaining this trade to thousands of traders, watching this happen in seconds, and then being to execute in a live market. You ask me, sometimes my friends are like, dude, what happened today? Did you not sleep? I'm like, no, I got plenty of sleep. I just expend all of my mental capital and my energy in such a short period of time. All my capital and mental energy is spent in 2.5 hours. The rest of the time is just recovering. It really is. This is why I love slow markets. It's not as crazy. So I entered in on the break of right here. Sure enough, oh man, 30 points on this one. Nope. Let this stupid thing go all the way back against me. Minus 3 points. So I was in the money, 30 points. I let it go against me. Minus 3 points. Stupid decision. It was still a great trade. Should have just seen money take money, especially counter trend. So, but I was okay with taking 3 points worth of risk, right? Because I was looking for a bigger move, which is okay. It's easy to go through and it's easy to go back and say, I should have just seen money take money. It's easy to go back and just say, I should have just took profit when I could. This was just one contract. Remember, these are one contract. So size, one contract. Oh, got to adjust this. One contract. These are small, and I don't mind holding these one contracts for bigger trades because I was looking for a bigger move. But yeah, good examples. I was in the money 30 points. So these are great trades at the end of the day. These are good trades. I really love these setups. 60 points, 30 points. Stop loss, 3 points. Markets are moving super fast, very volatile. Okay. And then I don't know what happened to that one. Same thing. This is the same setup, right? Same setup. Still in this zone, right? Still in this zone on the 5-minute chart. Still in this zone, looking for buys. I'm getting chopped up in this zone. Sure enough, I got into a long once again from 90. we tried to rally, and sold off. I closed it out 185 back down here. So minus 5 points. So there's another loss. Minus 5 points. One contract though. One contract. You understand that? These markets selling off. It's very volatile. These are not amazing setups. They're good trades, not amazing setups, not what I look for. The momentum's to the downside. Counter trend. All right, we sold off again. We broke through those 70s. We broke through the 70s. This setup no longer valid. This support zone of what, 190s, wherever it's at, it's done. It's done for. Move on to the next. So we sold off, not buying, nothing. Very volatile. Well, we got that bounce down here to these 130s. Like you could see where we came all the way down to, we came down all the way down to 020. So, man, we came all the way down here. We blew through that level. I didn't see any trade setup as we was blowing through these 110s, right? This was another support zone I was looking for, these 21,110s, but no, the market didn't even hesitate around there. So no trades. Even though I had this marked, I didn't trade it because there was no setup here on this 100 tick chart. There was no structure. There was no reversal. We just blew through that. Came down, rejected, had this big rally. This was huge. This is kind of what flipped the script for me. I'm like, wow, we just rallied. You know, that was buyers stepping in, 75 points. And so I'm like, okay, let's do it. There's a nice level of support here. Let's find a way to start buying this market. We got this nice pullback, and I started looking for those same setups. So getting in a little bit early. This is a little bit early. And now here's another way I view this market, okay? Another way that I view this market. This was support. We ran liquidity, and we ran this thing fast, right? This happened just like within a minute. Ran it, came back. See this consolidation over here? It became consolidation again. So when we broke out and came back down, it's a fair assumption. If we're going to make a higher low, some type of higher low, then it would be fair to say, this could be a chance. This could be an opportunity to get in long. And so obviously you could see I was looking to play for a break of these 62s, break through these 62s. Nope, loss. Minus 12 points. One contract, minus 12 points. So see all these losses, man. All these losses. It's tough. And then sure enough, here we go. We sold off. We came right back up. I got in, run a liquidity. Let's look for a rally. Let's look for this rally. I'm also paying attention to this 5-minute chart. And I know it's hard to see because of all this orders in the way, but we starting to see support. We're taking time. There's a lot more time being spent around here. This is a 5-minute. This is a 100-tick chart on the right. 100-tick chart on the right. 5-minute chart on the left. And now we start to say, okay, now I'm seeing a potential for a 3-bar reversal. All right, let's see it. I see a potential for a 3-bar reversal. It's looking better. This is looking much better for a 3-bar reversal than anything down here. We're finally seeing consolidation. We're finally seeing buyers stepping in. Sure enough, I got in long, 61.75. I ended up closing this one up at, 66? So basically, breakdown. That was actually a winner. So 5 points. So plus 5 points. Still one contract. One contract. Man, look at this one. Same thing. It looks like this is where I started to try and build, I believe. Yeah, this is where I tried to build. Let me make sure. Looking to build, because you can see here on the 5-minute chart how we're starting to consolidate. Now is basically, this is when I transitioned. This is where I transitioned from, okay, no more one contracts. Okay, no more one contracts. It's time to size up. We're seeing consolidation. I'm looking for this 3-bar reversal. Let's get it. It's time to start getting into a good trade, right? This was just small size testing. Okay, we're ready. Seeing this 3-bar reversal, possibly getting into a bigger size. And so I think I got in one at 72. I'm looking through here, just double checking. I think I took one more loss, to be honest. I think this was just one more loss because I closed one out at 47. I remember this. Yeah, so this was a loss. This was one more loss for 18 points. I'll put 18-point loss. I don't want to take too much time for one contract. So anyway, now, I don't know why I moved this. Now I started to build, okay? So we rejected again. We rejected again, and this is where I'm starting to see buyers step in. You heard the team. Nick Vertick was kind of saying it too. We're finding support. Now you can kind of see where I started to build, right? Rejected. I got in one at 61. That same price. It's that same price. These 60s, 61, 60, 60. And I got into another one at 65. So we kind of consolidated, broke out, sold off, got into another one at 70, looking for us. I was really looking for us to break here. Nope, loss. So I think I could say this is a 25-point loss on 3 contracts. Now the size is up, minus 23 on 3 contracts. That was a bigger loss. Right? Bigger loss. And then I'll show you how I do the math here in a minute. And I don't mind going over, just a little bit over. Started doing it again. Got in 1, got in 2, stopped out. So minus, you guys like to see me lose. This one's minus 14 points on 2 contracts. Got in again. Oh my gosh, I didn't know it was this crazy. I was active today during the New York session. And this is all right here. Right? Yeah, this is all in this span of this candlestick is, wow. Yeah, I was pretty active. And you can see, look, this is where I got into 5 contracts. So this is my first 5 contract trade. This is my first contract trade. My first 5 contract real trade. One, it looks like one at 57. So basically the same price. Got another one at 67, another one at 65. And then I got another one, the final one, as I seen us starting to break through this at the 64s. So I was finally into 5 contracts long. Finally, I built a position up to 5 contracts. This market finally allowed me to do that here. And guess what? That was it. That was one of the bigger trades. That was like, what do we say? 5 contracts long from these 60s. 60 points, right? 60 points. That made up for all of those little losses. We could do the math. I want to do an average because I did close out 2 here at 82. So if we just take an average, let's say 50 points. 5 contracts, 50 points. So that was the first true winner, right? And then nothing. And you know what? Sure enough, similar setup. You can see over here on the 5-minute chart. Now I'm just ready to go. We started to break through this level. This is a pullback. Started to break through this level. 5 contracts. Right? We started to break through that 5 contracts. And sure enough, got in at 114. Got out. I would say the average, if 114 to say 1, I'll be on the light side. 140. 114 to 140. That's 26 points. 26 points. So another 26-point winner on 5 contracts. 26 points on 5 contracts. And then we sold off. This is where I started to get chopped around again. So we came back down. We sold off. You can see we consolidated. I got chopped around probably 3 or 4 times. I don't want to go through and count this because we're running up on time. So I'm going to go quick. I'm going to say this is a, let's see. I want to make sure I'm going through this really. I think this was just 1, 2, 3. not really sure on this. I think this is a loss. Yeah, this is 3 contracts, and this is a 12-point loss on 3 contracts. And then I got into another 5 contract. This is my big loss. This is a bigger loss right here. 5 contracts at 85, average 76. So this was my biggest loss of the session. So 5 contracts, and this is a 40-point loss. I'd say this is a 40-point loss. Big loss. This one is a big loss. 5 contracts. I love that setup too. That was a pure setup. Then guess what? Look at this. This was the trade of the day. This is the one that made me the money. This is that big one. We came down to that 21,000 level. Completely rejected 21,000. This is the trade of the day. You guys seen it. We had that big rally, that 50-point rally, very similar to those other setups, right? We pulled back, and sure enough, I got in at 27. I got in. Same setups you guys have seen me take all day. Got in right here at 27, 5 contracts, and I mean, what else, right? Closed it for a nice 27 up to 100 points. 100 points. So 100 points right there to end the day with 5 contracts. That was my trading day. And if we want to count how many winners, how many losses, today I had, this was it. Want to go ahead and do the calculations. Now remember, this is rough. I don't know exactly how many is how many, but let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So there's a total of 10 losses and a total of, what is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 winners. It's not too bad. It's not as bad as I thought it was. Total of 15 trades. Only 5 of them were winners, right? So 15 trades, 5 was winners. If you take the math, if we talk about percentage, win percentage, it's what? Equals 33%. That's right where I'm at. That's usually where I'm at, 33% winners. Interesting. That really is interesting. Let me do something real fast. Just doing some math. Just there's probably a easier way to do that, but my brain is not thinking, so I'm just doing this. Too many brackets? Well, it worked. So this is about where it was. Like this is about, yeah, this is about how my day was. Now it's probably off a little bit because it was just a summary. Yeah, so I had more losses in there somewhere. It's not 100. Throw in some commissions. I don't know what happened there. But that's about how it was. That's about how it was. My day in general. 33% win rate. That was my day. And hopefully you guys understand. Does this help provide an in-depth view of how I think about these markets when I'm trading to the long side during a sell-off? Does that help everybody at all? It's tough. It really is tough. It's a lot easier said than done. And how we should clip this somehow. We should clip this. Those are good stats. I mean, people wonder, is like, Dakota, you lose all the time. Well, of course. I lose like 70% of the time. Like that's the way I trade. Like that is the way I trade on some of these days. It's not every single day. Of course, during slow markets, I trade a little bit differently because it's completely different. What I do in slow markets is very, very different than what I do in fast markets compared to what I do during power hour. And like I will tell everybody the same thing. You need to develop your own process. You need to understand each market is different. Every market condition is different. And yeah, nobody trades the same. Nobody trades the same. That's why I say what I say and I do what I do. Because sometimes I get a little bit maybe too pissed off some of the stuff and some of the comments that I see people make online, because I really do want to see traders trade good, and some of the crap is just so misguiding. And you know, good on you if it helps, but I have a high tolerance. I do, and to be able to show this stuff to everybody has been fun. It's been really fun. That's why you can never trust anybody if they go off of just win percentage. Don't go off just win percentage. If someone's preaching how much they are making based off of a win percentage, it's BS. If someone's preaching just off of the risk reward, it's BS, right? You have to take both into consideration, and you have to take trade size. You have to have, in a way, all three. In a way, you have risk reward, you have win percentage, but you also have to understand sizing, right? If you are going to be changing the size that you're trading, then you probably need to have that into your calculation. Your risk reward should be dollar amount, not points, if you're going to be changing your sizing. So there you have it, everybody. I think that is going to be it. What a good one. What a good one. So take care, and I will see you tomorrow. Tomorrow on Topstep TV during the day. Tomorrow is Wednesday, so I will be on it. Join me. Power Hour. Take care, everybody. I'll see you tomorrow, regardless whether it's during Topstep TV day show or during slow markets. Take care. Bye.